Hello. Here we are talking to Holly today. She's a recruiter from Dublin, and she is a very lovely person who accepted to talk to me to do this user interview. Can I ask you, Holly, to introduce yourself shortly, please?
So my name is Holly Preston, and I am the recruitment consultant here at IT Search in Dublin. So we specialise in IT recruitment across all levels of IT. I would have a particular interest in the UX market. I would have recruited heavily for it before. So that's why I'm here with lovely Raphael.
So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. So as I told you before, I have here 10 questions for you. So don't worry, it doesn't have any right or wrong. So can I start?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so from a recruiter perspective, do designers need to have an online portfolio or just a PDF or PowerPoint will be fine for you?
I think online is more convenient. Um, Once you obviously put the link into your CV, it can be quite convenient. But a PDF portfolio is fine too. Just I suppose it's not the actual whether the portfolio is a PDF or on a website. Rather the contents of it than the way it's delivered. Just once people have a portfolio, that's the main thing.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So second question is, would you mind if the portfolio was built like on Wix, WordPress, Squarespace, like this kind of web development platform? Or do you think
No,
the designer should build it from scratch?
I've no preference in regards to it. Now, again, that could vary from different hiring managers, but from a recruiter's point of view, my main kind of objective when I look at a portfolio is the content of the work. And again, I'm not a hiring manager, and I'm not claiming to be an expert in the UX area,
Mhm.
but it's more so the content, not how it's delivered. So whether you want to send it over in a PDF, once it's up to date, good content. It doesn't really matter what platform, once it's easily accessible for a hiring manager or myself to view.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, when you are seeking to hire a designer, okay, what do you look first on the website? The CV or the portfolio?
The portfolio,
Portfolio.
definitely portfolio. I think like the portfolio is a huge body of work, and any hiring manager I've worked with, particularly in the design space, they ask to see portfolios first. CVs they can only describe so much of what you actually do, but as a designer, a lot of your work is visual as well, and it's interactive, and I think that needs to be seen. So there's I would think that more work would have to go into the portfolio as opposed to CV. Not saying the CV is not important, but portfolio it's an integral part of the process.
Yeah, I know. Like when I'm doing some interview with hiring managers, they just like they barely take a look at the CV and then
Yeah,
okay, let's go to our portfolio to see what you are able to do.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's great. So now talking about the CV on the website, okay, what should come first, the professional experience or the educational background?
The professional experience
Okay.
always. Education is important, but I think especially now, with a lot of people self-teaching themselves, and um, it's I suppose work experience would be preference as opposed to education. Education is great, but
Okay.
they typically look at work experience first.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, in your opinion, so I'm talking about the website structure. Okay. So, do you prefer multiple pages or a single one with lots of scrolling?
Um, I think I this is a hard one.
What's your is the best user experience for you? Like,
I think one page could be easier just because it can be easier to navigate. Sometimes if you're scrolling, you're like, oh, I have to scroll back up to that place. But one of the best portfolios I'd ever seen was a scrolling portfolio. So um, I think I think though if I had to choose, it would definitely be one page just because I think it's
okay.
easier to navigate.
So you don't mind about scrolling at all, yeah?
No.
Okay, great. Perfect. So, in your opinion,
Mhm.
If the designer is living abroad, do you think it's a good idea to have the website developed in two languages? So in my case, for example, Portuguese and English, even if the Brazilian and Portuguese market is not my target as well anymore.
Um, I think absolutely, yeah. Again, I think if you speak, if you're a Portuguese developer, and you live in Brazil or whatever, I think it's important to develop the language and develop the website in your first language. It's your work. It's I suppose yeah, it's your work. I think as well if you are targeting like the Irish market, the English market, definitely have it in English too. But there's no harm having it in two languages, I suppose. But if you are targeting an English speaking country and you do just want to put it in one language, it's definitely better to put it in English as opposed to Portuguese. But if you can do two, absolutely.
Okay, great, great. So, what do you think about personal information on the website? Because normally we see like the emails, phone numbers, address, everything is set in the bottom. Normally, I'm talking about general web designing. So, do you think in a portfolio website, this kind of important information should be better highlighted in the top, or using any kind of way to highlight this kind of information, not only a standard design in the bottom of the page?
It makes things more efficient. For myself as a recruiter, it definitely makes things more efficient, and you don't have to kind of keep scrolling. Like there's a lot of there's a lot. I suppose it just makes things easier and more accessible, quicker to have things highlighted. I suppose like one of I seen a portfolio before, and a guy had a contact me side of it, and so it had his email address, his work email address, his work phone number, and there was also an option to book in a call with himself, which I
That's
thought
great.
was really efficient, really quick, and really business focused as well. So that was really good to see.
Great, great. Thanks for this feedback because
Yeah,
this question is tricky for every designer when we are developing something. So now, would you hire or refer someone for the role if the designs, the visual one, doesn't match with your personal taste?
but my personal taste, well, again, I'm not a UX designer, but I suppose from looking at portfolios over my period of working the market, I would know whether the designer would be up to scratch in regards to what the client is looking for. But in regards to my personal taste, no, I will still send them over.
Okay,
I think though the best kind of sites in regards to portfolio are clean and easy to navigate and just quite I think simple sometimes.
okay,
Um, yeah, I think it's just a little bit easier to navigate, and yeah, I think a clean website looks a little bit more professional.
okay. That's great. So, so do you prefer a website with few but good projects or lots of them? Like if I have like 15 years in my career, in my background, like showing up like university projects, or should be few and the most recent ones?
Well, I suppose there's two sides of the spectrum with that. So you have really experienced
Yeah.
designers and maybe who's in the industry 10, 15 years, say contracting designers, for example. I think it would be a bit chaotic to put every single project they've worked on,
Yes.
even down to university, because it's it's a bit distracting from maybe the main focus ones. Whereas you just kind of get junior UX designers who've just finished their courses and stuff, and all they would have would be college kind of um, college pieces to display. So I think if you have more industry experience, I think definitely maybe your projects where you show the most variety, maybe that you're the most proud of, and say if you worked in different industries, maybe a project per industry would be good to see, but high quality projects as opposed to quantity would definitely
Okay.
be the preference. It just showcases your work better as a designer, in regards to having a lot of experience. But as a junior designer, um, definitely quality projects as well. But look, if you have to put your university projects up on it, that's what you have to do, and that's where everyone starts out. So, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And just two more questions. So the next one. Are you keen to do user testing as well when the prototype's done?
Do you mean an
To,
agile
to,
or
to
a
navigate on
waterfall?
the website and also record the session for me to see your behavior when you are taking a look at my designs.
Yes, of course, no problem.
Okay, great. And also, so that's all. I would like to ask you if you have any questions or anything to add to this interview.
Oh, well, I suppose one thing that I've mainly seen, so, and was like especially a lot of us over here at IT Search who work the UX market, and a lot of my colleagues have been in the industry 10 plus years. So, I think the most common feedback is a lot of designers will give a CV without a portfolio. And I know that might seem a little bit ludicrous, but a lot of designers won't update their portfolio or they can't show recent work they have projects back from college, maybe from 2014, and it's not relevant and it's not doing the designer, no matter how talented they are, any favors in regards to roles they could be missing out on potential roles. And I'd say the main important thing would be your portfolio. Like I remember I interviewed a candidate before, and she was a very junior candidate, and her portfolio still to today is the most, it was the best portfolio I'd seen in regards to design and the layout and stuff. And she personalised it to the company that she was interviewing for, which I thought was a lovely
That's
touch
great.
with a designer with not a lot of experience, and she was quite successful within her application with that role. So there's a lot of things, and I think effort is the biggest thing. So I would put a lot of work into my portfolio because again it's showcasing not only what work you can do, but kind of your own personal taste and style. And it's great for a hiring manager to see, especially myself as a recruiter too.
Yep, I totally agree with you because when I was in the process to join NIB, and when the recruiter said that the interview will be with the NIB lead design, I
Yeah,
said, okay, I am a UX designer, but I am also a customer. So I browsed deeply the app to see all the pain points that I have as a customer, and also
well,
what I should do better if they hire me. And then I create like a huge presentation about what I would do to improve the user experience on the app by being a designer and also a customer of the bank. So they hired me straight away, and then they are
congratulations, no,
implementing
that's brilliant.
something that I suggested before. So we are working on it now to improve the
Yeah,
app. So was basically showing up my pain points as a customer, but also my abilities as a designer to then to see that I really want to get this opportunity.
work
But
together. Yeah,
I completely understand what you're saying. Like creating some personalized, it's your MVP. Like when you show up your values to the company and also showing up that you are very interested to join them, not just applying for any kind of role that you see on LinkedIn or any other site. So that's completely true.
yeah, enthusiasm, ability to learn. Like there's a lot of these soft skills that we don't look at, and even sometimes as a recruiter, I can overlook the soft skills. But again, it's I suppose it's the ability to adapt to every environment. And like if you're hiring, if I'm hiring, the one thing that you're gonna want in someone you're working alongside and working on a project with is effort. So if you're putting that effort in at the very start in regards to your portfolio and with your CV, because you would be surprised, especially in the market today. And there is a lot of roles, and we all know that, especially within IT. But I suppose the misconception would be I don't have to put effort in and I'm going to get this really good role. It's not necessarily the case. And yeah, once you put effort into the portfolio, that's the main thing, and your CV as well. But update it with work that you can show, and definitely the most project you're most proud of, I suppose, as well, and that showcases your skills as a designer.
So I will ask you another question, but
Yeah,
it's more a matter of curiosity than
yeah.
about my project. Do you think designers should have a creative CV like colorful, different fonts, or a standard one like white background and just some texting, because I know some companies work with some robots, so then when you upload your CV with a different design, the robot will ignore your file, and then don't just they will not show up to the recruiter your information. But if you approach the designer like personally or by mail, if they have like a very nice CV with different fonts, different colors, images, or like progress bar or whatever, do you think it's a good point, or they need to stick with regular CV?
I think I love seeing a really kind of I love seeing a nicely designed, gorgeous CV. But the pain point for myself is when I have to upload it onto my own recruitment system. It's really hard to format, and because as recruiters, a lot of us would format CVs to be quite uniform, and just so everything is neat and clean. So that can be a pain. So I do if I do like to see both, but it's
Okay.
killing me to say if you have like a maybe a portfolio that reflects reflects your personality, that would be better. So all the kind of design effort you can put into your portfolio, and keep the CV. Obviously, you're a designer, so you can make it look quite cool too, but keep it as uniform as possible. Especially if you're applying for jobs online as well. As you said, there is a lot of bots that take information, and sometimes the information can be misconstrued through that, and it's not done by human, I suppose.
Great, great. So it's great feedback, because every time designers are arguing about it, no, we should keep just a normal PDF, or we should have like
If you
a,
have both,
CV jumping on the screen or something like this, music and fireworks and etc. But
leave that to your portfolio. But
yeah,
if you do have like a really kind of just plain CV, and then you have your design CV. And if you are working with the likes of recruiters, we love to see that. So send us two of over. We can format off the really plain one, and then we can kind of gauge a little bit about yourself from your type of design. Apologies, my dog is probably barking
no
right now.
worries, no worries, no worries at all.
But yeah, it's definitely easier on recruiters, and I suppose job applications if the CV is cleaner.
Okay, that's great. Great feedback. So that's all from my side. Holly, do you have anything to add? Any other questions for me or something like this?
I, one question I suppose I would have, as a designer, how do you feel about working with recruiters, or what made you like to be approached as a candidate on the market?
So as a designer, what I saw sometimes, the recruiters are a little bit in doubt, I would say, about the rules. What I'm saying is, sometimes they are looking for a UX designer, but when you see the job description, they are looking for a graphic designer or for a web designer or for a product designer. So I know those titles, from my perspective, are messy as well. Like even the designers doesn't know what they really means. But sometimes when you saw some job roles, they are putting their UX designer maybe because it's a high trend. But when you take a look at the role, they are looking for a front end developer or for a graphic designer, not specifically someone that is engaging on researching.
Yeah,
Uh, they are looking more for something visual. So sometimes the job descriptions are not the best, but it's not only recruiters' fault. It's also, I would say, the market has this problem in general. They have like lots of designers, okay, UX designers, UI designers, UX writers, graphic designers, web designers, eyebrow designers. So, so even the market doesn't know what they want. So it's not only the recruitment fault, but I think they should ask more details to the hiring managers to see exactly what they need. So if they need someone with great visual skills, and they a professional that's not worried about research, so they are looking for a graphic designer, not a UX one. So if they are looking for someone with great marketing background, great research, and also a great visual skill, so they are looking for a UI designer with UX abilities as well. So maybe the description of the role should be better, I would
Tighter.
say.
Yeah, I definitely understand that sometimes. Even I can be guilty of it sometimes. But a lot of recruiters, we can just look at kind of the keywords and stuff. And again, we're not experts in our market, but maybe that's one thing we can communicate with hiring managers when we are getting on board. What exactly are you looking for? What exactly does this role entail? Which they do a lot of the time. But I suppose maybe taking that time before we approach candidates with the role, I suppose will definitely be beneficial. Another question I have for you, Raphael, is how often are you being contacted by recruiters per week in the UX design market? Because obviously we've seen such an influx in it, and this one will be interesting for myself.
Yeah, I would say at least once per day, or they are sending me an email or sending me a message on LinkedIn or even calling. I would say at least one time per week, one time per day. Like I would say. So just this week, like five recruiters reached me out asking if I'm keen to join a UX designer role. But everything is so I would say initial conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, not too much detail on it.
Yes.
So from my perspective, when the recruiter reaches you out, you should at least hear what they would like to say.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't want to change your job now, everyone will have at least one person to indicate. I think I indicate some colleagues to you as well.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, I think you should at least hear what they have to offer. Okay, even if
Mm-hmm.
you are happy in your job. I think when you talk to me, I refuse to move on with the application because I joined it NIB
Yeah,
a
yeah.
month before you talked to me, so it was not great to be like jumping every time that you have like
No,
yeah.
absolutely not. And would you have a preferred form, or what form of contact would you be most responsive to? Like an
um,
email, a call, an email.
I think a LinkedIn message first, and then
Okay.
arranging a call to know better about the role, and then for the recruiter to know better about my personal experience, because on LinkedIn or the CV is so, I would say, cold, like
Yeah.
just bunch of texting over there. But I think a LinkedIn message, because in my case, it's my opinion. Okay, or other people could have another one because I'm very active on LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
I would say I'm creating content every day. So I would say at least once per day I'll take a look at my account and I will see if I have any message, and I will see the results of my posting, the results of my content, and also answering the comments I normally have on my sharings over there. So I would say, from my point of view, LinkedIn is the best tool to have this first contact, because sometimes I have like 100 unread emails on my Gmail account. So sometimes I can receive one and then I will receive lots of junk after it, and then I will ignore it. So I think LinkedIn is the most approachable way, because if the professional is taking a look for a new is looking for a new job, I think they will be more active on LinkedIn because it's the place where the recruiters are, where the hiring managers are. So yes, from my perspective, an email message on LinkedIn is the best approach.
Best approach. Okay,
Yeah,
and I have just two more questions for you.
yeah,
I'm very
don't worry.
curious on my side too. So, in regards, if you were looking for a new role, would you be likely to search the likes of IrishJobs.ie or Indeed, or how would you approach it if you were looking for a new role?
So if I'm really seeking for a new role, yes, I will take a look at those websites as well
Hmm.
to apply over there. But I know that the best roles sometimes they are not advertised.
Yeah.
So I know that the best roles probably the recruiter will reach you out, or even the hiring manager will refer you at some point, and then you're gonna get a job. But if you are unemployed, I would say, or really seeking to change your job, yes, I will take a look to Indeed, archjobs.ie, or any other kind of recruitment website. Yes, definitely.
Great, great. And I suppose the last question would be, in terms of yourself, if you were to look for a new role, and obviously you have numerous recruiters contacting you a week, would you partner with one recruiter? And if you were to partner with one recruiter, what would you look for in order to make that decision?
Sorry, can you repeat this?
So if you were looking for a new role, and you wanted to partner with a recruiter, as you just said, you get five emails and calls per week, and well, one a day. How would you choose what recruiter or what agency to partner with? What would you kind of look out for?
So I can give you an example. Today, a recruiter from London called me, and I would say the audio was very bad. It was very difficult to understand what she's asking me to do.
Hmm.
So she called me 7 times trying to fix this audio issue. In the last one, I say, okay, this girl again. Oh my god. Okay, let's try. So uh, I think when the recruiter has, I would say, like you have a human approach. Okay, not only okay, I'm seeking to hire this person. Let's try to get more information. So last month a recruiter called me. In the end of the day, she decides not to move on with my application because she thinks another person has a better fit to the company. But we are talking about for an hour. So the approach was very human, I would say. Not only okay, I have a role here. The salary is 5,000 per year and 5,000 per month, and you need a UX designer to work with the product owners and then create some prototypes and describing the role that I already know what it means. And okay, are you interested? Yes. So okay, please send me your CV, and then just uh, forget about yourself and even never coming back with the
Yeah,
application. So if the approach is more human, if they take a look deeply at our profiles, I think the interview you'll be better, and even the pressure it will be less pressure, I would say, because when you are applying for a new job, when you're really seeking for a new job, you are nervous to get it. So the interview could be awkward, and then the recruiter will not extract the best of this profession. So if they have like a lovely approach, as I said, as you have, and also other
yeah,
recruiters as well, we have like less pressure on the interview. We are just talking. It's just a chat, like we could have drinking something on Temple Bar or something like this.
yeah.
Is less pressure. It's soft, and then I think the interview flows better from my perspective.
Definitely, definitely. And yeah, I think that's all the questions that I have for yourself, Rafael. I'm sorry I bombarded you with a lot there, but
No,
that was
no
very
problem. No,
helpful.
it is really great.
That was, yeah, it was definitely helpful on my side as well. And I speak to candidates every day, but it's nice to actually hear, I suppose, how things are on the recruitment side from the candidate side of things.
And now I would say, I think I will stop recording now.